shining just like a star. And you caught my eye from afar.
What's up guys, it's Randi and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. So as you can tell from the title of this video, we are doing another real estate journey video, but this time I'll be discussing the school that I use because I actually got a lot of questions about it. Some people who are actually looking into the same school, or just some people who were thinking about the process of trying to get trying to get answers to their questions. So I decided to make a video just to discuss Real Estate Express in whole, I guess, and just how my journey with them went. You know, the good, the bad, the in between. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. All right, so I have my notebook because I had to write this stuff down so I kind of knew what to talk about. I'm gonna try and not make this like too lengthy just because I know some people just really want the answers and it doesn't need to be drawn out any longer than it should be. All right, so first up was money. So Real Estate Express, I wanna say, I can't really give you a number. So I took a few months to research, and actually I was gonna go with another school in the beginning. It was a local school in Charleston that was now doing virtual. But I want to say like the last 2 months of my research, like right before starting, I actually found Real Estate Express. So Real Estate Express was about, for me, I want to say like 500-ish, somewhere around there. But it really just depends. So the month I started, which was February, I believe, they had a deal going on. So each month they usually have a different deal, which is like start now, get 50% off, start now, get 30-40% off, whatever. So it's just stuff like that. And so I happened to catch it at a really good deal because the month prior to starting, it was higher. So I caught it at a good time, and I feel like that was also my sign of like, girl, you need to start. So that's kind of why, how much I paid for and why I paid for that. So if you are looking into it, I don't want to give you a set amount because it really just depends on the deal that month. Ever since I've seen it, they've had a deal every month going on. So you really just want to look. I would say as long as you're researching, you know, keep your eye on it. Sometimes you'll just know like, okay, it's time. Schools usually range, I want to say between 5, and the most I saw was maybe like 7. So somewhere around there for both of your courses, Unit 1 and Unit 2. Again, this is South Carolina that I took it for, but we're just talking about the school overall in general for people out of state. All right, next is the workload or the reading. So during Real Estate Express, this is one of those, I think, one of the cons of Real Estate Express for me. It's a lot of reading, like a lot. I actually just recently when I got into Unit 2, started seeing videos of someone talking. But other than that, it's just reading. It's like pages and pages of reading. I'm gonna try and insert clips of stuff so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about from my school. So I'll just like show you, but it's a lot of reading. So the way it is set up, you kind of have like, your units are broken down. And so you hit start course and it has all the chapters on the side, but you can't go on to another chapter without obviously completing what you've done first. So you're clicking and it's just like, the title, it's like the chapters at the corner, the title of like what you're talking about on that page, and then just like paragraphs. Sometimes it's small pages, sometimes it's long. It's just a bunch of reading. You're clicking through, so it shows you your progress with a percentage. And then in the beginning, like my Unit 1, every so-and-so, I want to say like 5 or 6 pages, maybe more, it just depends on the chapter. You have like a check your understanding, which is just a mini quiz. You're not really answering, well, you're answering the questions, but you're answering like in your head or write it down. And then you take the quiz at the end of the chapter. So it is a lot of reading, and if you're one of those people that needs to like hear or something, I don't think it would work for you. For me, in the beginning, it was kind of hard trying to figure out how I learned best, but reading didn't bother me as long as I wrote it down, took notes. For me, I read it and then I write it down. So for me, it's like double hearing it or like double reading it. I don't know how to explain that, but like if I read it and then I write it down, it's giving me that double reassurance that I'm trying to like comprehend what I'm doing. So if reading isn't for you, I definitely don't think it is for you. But another thing is that if you need like reassurance or like help while you're doing it, Prep Agent is a great tool. Prep Agent, it does cost some money online, but YouTube, he has a YouTube. The Prep Agent YouTube page, what am I saying? The Prep Agent YouTube page is a great tool to use. I actually wish I found it earlier because I would have done it side by side with my readings, but I didn't, but I'm using it now. So if you're watching this, you haven't started, I'm telling you now, definitely use Prep Agent videos while you're learning certain things. It'll help you. It'll really help you because you'll be watching, you'll be writing, and then you'll be hearing him in another video talk about it. So look out for that. All right, next was time frame. So people were asking me like, how long was the course? I can't really give you an answer because it is about how fast you decide to do it. So in the beginning, I was, I don't say I was on it heavy. I kind of was like for like 2-3 weeks, maybe like a month. And then I kind of like would need like a day to relax. I will say do not overwork yourself because that stuff will not stay in your head if you overwork. If you feel like you need a day, take that day. I had to learn to do that. But the time frame, it really just depends. So at the bottom, it has like a green screen. Again, I'll put clips in here so you guys can see what I'm saying. It has like a little green, what is that called? Percentage marker or whatever. It's like a Domino's tracker to me. That's what it reminded me of. But I had like a loading bar, that's it. So it'll tell you your percentage. Do not watch that percentage because I was one of those people, I watched it and it drove me insane because I felt like, oh, I'm not done yet, but then I get excited when I was. So it does have that percentage for you, which is helpful to see like what you're on track of. But the time frame really just depends. You're going at your own pace. So I'm not gonna say it's a 4-week program or it's an 8-week program. It's really whatever you do. Some days I would get that work done for like 4 or 5 hours straight, and then some days I would just do 1 or 2 hours and I just felt like, okay, I can't do it today, like I'm not in the mood, I'm not gonna remember anything if I even try to force myself. So really just depends. I started at the end of February and I finished unit 1, I want to say I finished unit 1 April. Yeah, so it only took me about 2 months, which was crazy because I thought it was gonna take so much longer. And it kind of went by fast. So it took me about 2 months, and then I'm on unit 2 now. And unit 2 has, I think, 6 like little mini chapters in each one. This is A, B, C, D, E. So it's 5. And I'm almost done with that. And I basically did like A, B, each letter in a week. So I'm very good when I am like persistent about something and it's something I really want. I do very well at balancing my time and everything. So I really don't know how, but I've just kind of always been like that. So yeah, this one only took me about 5-6 weeks, I want to say, because I think one of them I needed a couple extra days. So we'll just say 6 weeks because I'm almost done. And we're at like 4.5 mark. So yeah, the time frame isn't long, but I will say you do have an expiration date because I think they feel like if you buy it and then you take 8 months, you're not really trying because it shouldn't take that long. So that expiration date also motivates you to be like, let's get this done because I'm not gonna spend a couple $100s for something that I end up canceling, and then when it cancels, you do have to repay to enroll again. So be mindful of that. The next thing we talk about is the testing process. So I did not know this before I decided to join Real Estate Express, which is something I don't think people really talked about, but it was interesting. So the way testing is set up, you obviously have like your quizzes at the end of each chapter, but when you complete the unit, you do have to pass the test to advance or even get your certificate. So unit 1 is like all 30 something chapters. So when I completed it at the end, it's like this big like warning sign, like warning, final exam, do not enter, blah, 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 blah. So with it, you have to get like an affidavit signed. But for me right now, with it being like a pandemic and stuff being closed, I did the online one where I could take it from my computer myself. But you do have a proctor for online. Actually, there's a couple of things that you have to do. You have to get a proctor, which you have to pay for when you sign online. So what you have to do is, I'll show you guys an example of what I did actually. Okay, here we go. So I have multiple tripods. So you have to get like your phone or like another camera for the person, your proctor, to view you taking your exam. So I took mine on the table. You can kind of see back there, but I took that on that table. So what I did was I set up my tripod with my camera like this. So that way the person had to be able to see me as well as my computer. But before even setting them up, they asked to see your entire workspace. Mine is the entire like living room. So I had to scan everywhere so they could see that there's no like paper up, no camera, no video with answers, no anything. No whiteboard, no nothing. So I had to do that, and then I set them up and they basically watch you take your test the whole time. It wasn't that bad. I was more so nervous because I just wanted to pass on my first one. So the proctor thing wasn't bad. You do have to pay for it. It's $15 for every test. So one thing I also didn't know with Real Estate Express, so unit 1 and unit 2, you would think that's $15, $15. No. Unit 1 is $15 and then you're done. Unit 2 on Real Estate Express, at least for South Carolina, I don't know. I cannot fact check any other state, but for us, unit 2 is broken down in A, B, C, D, and E. each of those is $15 as well for that test. So yeah, it kind of adds up. I'm not saying it's like crazy expensive, but like compared to what you pay to take the test, but real estate school adds up. So like I still already know I have fees even after school. So yeah, that was surprising to me because I thought it was just unit 1, unit 2, but no. At the end of your test, your thing will say get certificate. So for me, it's get SC certificate. So when that happens, you can download the certificate. And for South Carolina, once you download the certificate is when you can go through the state's real estate commission to register for your state licensing exam. So yeah, I think that's all that I really covered for my Real Estate Express review. I want to say at the end, I guess like honest review and opinion for myself through the process. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It wasn't that bad. I kind of like being able to do things on my own. The screens, everything, like the reading, it didn't bother me. Some people it might, but it didn't for me. I don't really think there's anything negative other than the amount of reading. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was just the reading. I will say also, there were a few times in Real Estate Express, I felt like some of the language they used was very old. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was giving me very, very like 1900s for some parts. So yeah, that's why I definitely suggest Prep Agent if you are like beginning this journey and you haven't really gotten deep into it. Definitely check out Prep Agent or any other, like, I'm sure there's other real estate practice ways or like examples. Even Quizlet has some. I would definitely break down the chapters and review separately outside of that so that we have a better understanding, because some of the terms it's just confusing. Alright guys, so other than that, that's pretty much it all about Real Estate Express. If you have any other questions, make sure you comment down below. That was my experience, what I felt like other people should know about. It wasn't that bad, it was kind of great. But before you guys go, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. Follow me on Instagram for any other questions, tips, just some fun content on there as well. And I'll see you guys in my next video.